What happens at girls trips?
Girls have fun.
Describe fun.
Girls just want to have fun.
Personally, I can say I've never been like on a girls trip like you see on like Instagram and things like that.
Stop the cap.
I went on a girls trip, but it was like my friends and I was with the girl. I was with a girl, so we
you
all
did go
went
on a girls trip?
together. Yeah, but I was with my girlfriend at the time. So I don't know if like that corresponds with the questions you're asking because my partner was there. But I went on a girls trip. It was me and my best friend, and we didn't do shit. Like we went to San Diego. We went kayaking. We went to go out, smoke hookah, drink, and I mean that's pretty much it.
Okay. So what would you say to your brother if he had a girl and she wanted to go on a girls trip to, let's say, Miami or Vegas in this case, since you're from Miami?
Okay. If I had a little brother and his girlfriend wanted to go on a girls trip, okay, first I would ask, what is the event? Why? What's the occasion?
Bachelorette party.
All right, bachelorette party. Then I'll kind of ask him to gauge the relationship, like what's going on.
They've been together for 2 years.
2 years. There's more questions than that, but
What other questions would you ask him to ask?
what kind of state are you guys in? Are you communicative? Have there been any problems recently? Like problems as far as
Everything is
commitment?
smooth
Everything is smooth. All right.
at the moment.
Well, if you know the girls that she's going with,
Their thoughts.
I'd be like, I don't know, big dog. You're gonna have to gauge that yourself, because if they acting like thoughts, she gonna act like a thought. And
Okay.
I mean, I agree. You know, like if you feel some type of way and if you're secure in a relationship, yes, it's not always just black and white. But if you feel some kind of way about your partner, like you're comfortable, all right. But at the end of the day, if you're going with some thoughts, they're gonna do some thought behavior, and at the end of the day, she's gonna be mixed in it. So if you're okay with that, you're okay with that.
So what would you tell your brother in that situation? Clearly he's not okay with that. So what advice would you tell him?
Honestly, I'll be like, it's up to you. At the end of the day, I would tell him either you trust her and you want to move forward and see what happens, or you decide not to and you want to play it safe and, have that card in your pocket.
Have what card in your pocket?
Like, all right, you didn't go, so when my boys, whatever, I'm not gonna go because you don't feel comfortable.
Do you think men and women are the same and play by the same set of rules?
No, but depends on the scenario.
Do you think a guy's trip is equivalent to a girl's trip?
Oh God. Depends on
trips are worse.
Depends on what we're doing. It depends on what kind of bachelor and bachelorette. Like that's what you mean, like guys trip, bachelor, girls trip.
I mean, if you want to use that as a specific example, but you're trying to say like, oh well, you have a card on her, now you can go ahead and go on a guy's trip. But realistically speaking, if one party were to commit infidelity on a guy's trip versus one party were to commit infidelity on the girl's trip, which would hurt the relationship more?
Oh, but that's not what I'm talking about.
But that's the overall premise of the question is, this is protecting the relationship, correct?
Right.
So that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Whose infidelity is worse for the relationship overall? Because you're trying to equate it, and I'm saying they're not equal.
Woman.
I'm not trying to equate it, and they're not equal.
You quite literally tried to equate it because you said you got a card in your back pocket.
But the card is, you have this with what happened. You said this about how you felt. My card doesn't equate to your card at the end of the day. What I'm trying to say is we each have a card. Doesn't mean we're going to play it, but we have a card. We decide how we're going to use it.
Uno.
Uno out.
I don't think you understand where I'm going with this. I don't think you understand. Because you're trying to say, okay, well, let her go, but now you can go ahead and go on a guy's trip.
Okay, so...
what I'm saying is that that's a false equivalent.
Okay, so what I would say to my brother is, all right, you don't want anything to happen. All right, you play it safe. You think nothing's going to happen. You trust her. All right, let her go. That's what I would say to my brother. That was the question, right?
It's not about what he thinks. I'm asking you, what do you think? What advice would you dispense to me saying, sis, I need your help?
That's my advice. My advice would say, if you trust her and if you're comfortable in your relationship and you're secure enough, let her go. If you feel like there's an if and or but, don't.
But there's clearly if and or but, which is why he's asking you.
And that would be my advice. If there's an if and or but, you shouldn't be asking me. At the end of the day, I'm telling you, this is what might happen.
Our sister, man.
Yo, man.
Don't ask me for advice.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
That's my advice. If you think there's an if and or but, then you should voice your opinion. Do you feel some kind of way? Voice how you feel. Say that shit.
He doesn't know. That's why he asking you for advice.
That's exactly why he's asking you.
But then how am I supposed to know how he feels in his
Because
relationship?
he's telling you.
He's telling-
Yo, I don't-
Right?
yo,
That's
what the
what I'm
hell? Am I in
saying.
a clown world right now? Yo, Chris, am I wild?
That's exactly what I was
Nah,
saying.
man,
You're not crazy, bro.
Yo.
She said that, bro.
Yo,
I said that. Yes.
yo, put L.
Niggas
sister
are
in
putting
chat.
L sister in the chat. Okay.
Yo, do it.
Okay.
What
Alright.
am I supposed to tell you? Don't go.
Yes.
Am I supposed to tell him to tell her not to go?
Yes.
Well, I mean, not that, but like a decisive answer. Like, goddamn,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, well, go off of how you feel. Well, clearly he's not sure. He's asking you.
That's the thing. If you feel comfortable, if you feel safe, all right, cool. Let her
does.
go. If
All
you
right.
don't, then don't.
All right. We'll
That's
move
my
on.
answer.
All right.
Yeah, chat spamming L sister.
All right. Next.
Okay, what about you? What